Hello there. Nice to see that you clicked on this video. As you can see in the title, it says that I played the full Jolly game, even though the other video was just night one. Well, I decided to just do the whole game in one video, therefore I don't have to keep reminding myself to edit things. Therefore, you can all watch it in one video. You know how long this video might be. Oh, well, that's a good thing I'm editing this. Anyway, let's get to the video. After the release of Circus Baby's Pizza World, fast food restaurants' income has dramatically dropped. However, the CEO of Jolly Entertainment said he will not prevail this drop of attention to his restaurants, and that he will compete with Circus Baby's Pizza World. He announced that starting tomorrow, he will transform one of his restaurants to be more interactive with the audience by manufacturing kid-friendly, guaranteed, free-roaming animatronics. Will this turn into another Freddy Fazbear's Pizza incident?
Hello. Hey there. Did you receive the memo? In case you didn't, we just got the new animatronics from the CEO sent us yesterday. These animatronics are manufactured by one of the finest robotic companies out there. They walk around at day. Speaking of, look at what we found lying around in the back. Cameras! They're pretty damn old though, so the colours that you see in the camera would be dull. Also, these animatronics aren't allowed to be turned off. The engineers that we met yesterday said that turning the robots off would make the metal rusty, causing them to collapse. Yeah, you have to keep track of them wherever they go. You can close the door shut if you see them coming through your office. These doors are special and do require a lot of power. I think it's because the door is powered by some kind of piston system, and it keeps pushing itself down to keep the animatronics from pulling the door. Not to worry though, you can recharge it by opening the charging panel. The charging panel can be found at the right side of the room. Use this to take the power from our generator and transfer it to the building power, which is used by our doors and cameras. The charging panel also allows you to seal the vents on party room 1 and party room 2. You choose one of the animatronics there decides to climb through the vents. Now the rest of the animatronics may use the elevator to go down. You can control where the elevator is by the camera. Just switch over to Cam 14 and you can control the elevator there. Now, we also received an unused animatronic that came along with the other ones. Now that animatronic ignores the doors. It can climb through walls and ceilings. To stop him from getting away, go over camera 11, click on a wire, and when it goes red colour means the wire is being broken. Click on a wire fixes it remotely through the camera. I think that's it. You should be safe. Pick the cameras, pick the light in front of you, and you should be okay. Alright, have a good night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Alright, tonight is going to be pretty easy. We only have to deal with about 3 animatronics, that being George, Tweety, and the marionette. George, uh, let's just say I hate George. He's probably the glitchiest animatronic that I've dealt with. Um, but the pretty solid way to not have him kill you is you can either stall him in the vents on this camera, and the way that you stall him is that you just seal the vent, but he will stay in that vent. I don't think he's supposed to, but if he is, then alright. Um, and if you don't stall him at the vents, he will go through the vents to your office. When you see him on the cameras, you shut the door, and after you hear the clawing, you open the door and he should be gone. Then there is Tweety. Tweety will try to go down the elevator. You can toggle the elevator on this camera, and the camera will go from top to bottom, so you just need to change the floor when the elevator changes. There's also a sound cue that you can listen to. It's sort of easy to hear. You will hear a ding sound. It will be pretty light, but when you hear it, you go to camera 14, click toggle, and it should go back up. Tweety, just like Max, not Max, just like George, will go to your office, and all you need to do is shut the door. The marionette is different than all the other animatronics. Basically, it kind of works like the puppet from FNAF 2, and all you, and there are about 4 wires that it will try to break. For night one, you basically only have to worry about one or two, maybe three. Uh, just click on a wire, and it should go back to green. If all the wires turn to black, then the marionette will kill you. You will only have like a couple seconds. Who knows? Maybe you can survive if you're like very close to 6 a.m. But that's basically all the animatronics, unless you count Jolly. But he only appears if you waste all your power, and I will only get into power later in this video. I have not really gotten the any bit of lore that the arcade parts are showing. So far in this one, it just shows this Jolly walking over to the Marionette, Marionette saying, "Follow me," then we go into the elevator. You can't really find that much lore in these arcade parts, but I will still show them. Anyway, on to the next night.
Hello? Hello? Hey, congrats night 2. By now you may have noticed a box full of parts in your office. Yeah, that came from the auction last week. They were bought from this place called Fazbear's Scare, or something like that. We were busy unpacking and building the animatronics that we didn't have the time to lift the boxes of spare parts in your office to the parts and service room. Yeah, those parts are pretty old. Speak of old, did Johnny ever leave the main stage? Probably not. John is the most special animatronic, as you can probably tell. He is the oldest designed character among all of them, too. Yeah, he's the most memorable when it comes to children. I want to remind you about the usage of the air vents and the elevator. You don't really need to keep them sealed. Hey, here's an advice. Seal them when you're too busy fixing Cam 11's ropes. That should work well with the elevator too. Alright, talk to you soon.
All right. Well, this night is basically just a harder version of the first night. Um, By this point and forward, I do not stall George at the vents. He just gets too fast, and it's just a waste of power from this point forward. You can keep trying if you want, but I don't do it after this. Let me see. Is there any new animatronics? Well, since there isn't any new animatronics. No, I'll just speed it up for you, and you can watch the last hour of the night.
Hello? Hello? I won't take any much of your time since Jolly and his gang seem to be pretty active as the week progresses. I forgot to mention, when Jolly enters in front of your office and the door isn't closed, Jolly will clog the door. You won't be able to close it. Now that shouldn't be a problem if you keep the door closed. Never mind. Keeping the door closed when you don't need it will drain your power. Scratch that. Anyways, good luck. Talk to you soon.
All right. Well, this night introduces two new animatronics, and that being Jolly and Maxie. Yep, that is the animatronic that I mistook for George in the video before this. Um, let's start with Maxie. Maxie is pretty simple. It's just like George. He will go to the vents, and you can seal it, and he'll actually go back to his stage when you seal it. It'll just take a random amount of time. I don't know. You can check the fandom if you want to see how much time it takes. Um, when he gets to your office, he'll be a little bit more slower, but you should still close the door. Um, yeah, that's basically it. For Jolly, you heard most of what the cameraman said. The cameraman basically told you exactly what you need to know. When Jolly is by your window, he will actually go to your door and stop you from closing it. This is bad for a number of reasons, for a very simple reason, actually. And basically, after this night, I just stopped checking other cameras and only check the kitchen camera and the marionette camera. Because, well, there's only one stop before your office, and that being the kitchen camera. So, but tonight, he's relatively easy. All you need to do is he'll go through the elevator just like Tweety. So just toggle the elevator when it goes down, and you might just need to start worrying about Tweety a lot more when, yeah. All right. Well, that's basically it. He doesn't jump scare you unless the power goes out. So, yeah. See you on night 4.
Hello? Hello? Hey there, Night 4. You're getting the hang of it. Just to remind you, things tend to get aggressive starting on this night. I don't know why, so be reminded to keep the doors shut only when 100% necessary. Just because you can recharge the power doesn't mean you can use it forever. The generator power's still limited. Alright, so you seem to have everything under control. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Tonight's going to be very hard, so I need to stay on my toes. I tried my best, but I've died a lot for this night, and for night 5, and especially for night 6. Basically, uh, okay. You know what? The one thing that I forgot to mention is the power panel. I think the phone guy I've talked about it before. Huh? He told you itself, don't use too much of the door power. But basically, uh, for the power panel, you have generator power and you have building power. Building power goes down very fast, and if that runs out, even if you have full generator power, then your entire building dies, and you'd get killed by Jolly. Oh. If you're able to keep it, roughly at 70% to 50% for most of the night. And if it's at like 50 to 20% by 5 a.m., you basically have it in the bag. Even if you use up all that power at 5 a.m., you basically have it in the bag. It just depends on when you lose all that power. If you lose it at 5 to 10, then you lost. But if you lose it at 5:20 to anywhere above, then you win, basically. Because it takes a long time for Jolly to actually jump scare you. So be on your toes. Yeah.
Hello? Hello? I won't talk to you today for a long time because I gotta get some things set up for this Saturday night. Uh, same old, keep the door shut, power, blah 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 blah. Alright, talk to you sometime soon.
All right. This night is one of the hardest, not including night 6 and the custom night. And okay, so here's a nice strategy that you can use for tonight. Stay on cam, stay on the marionette camera so that you can fix the wires. Be in the be in the kitchen camera. Uh, don't use any power until 12:30 a.m. You need to keep all that power up. Uh, when the marionette goes, you check the lights, then every time that you hear the marionette, you check the lights. If no one's there, click on the marionette. Fix the cables. The cables will start going down a lot faster starting tonight. A lot faster. And um and make sure to check the kitchen camera. In fact, when you're done with the marionette, click back onto the kitchen camera so that you can check if Jolly is in the kitchen. If he's in the kitchen, shut the door and keep it closed until he leaves. Make sure to keep your power around 57%. When it gets like in the 30s and 40s, you boost it back up to 70, and with enough trial and error, you should be able to do it. Um, as long as George is not being a very glitchy person, because he was very glitchy. I swear I had the door close on him multiple times, and then he just jump scares me. But I'll mostly be dealing with that for night 6 and the custom night. But anyway, uh, yeah. All right, let's see our paycheck. Whoa, I got $300. That's more than what they paid me at Five Nights at Freddy's. Well, at least we know that this management is better. Hmm. I don't actually know the lore implications to this. I'm guessing, like, either the soul is inside the AI itself, for the animatronics, or it's a self-aware AI. I'm going to guess that it's the first one. Maybe, like, the animatronic box that we have there has the souls. Anyway. Well, won't you look at that? We got our first star. Anyway, this video is getting pretty long. Don't exactly know how long, but it's getting long. So, if you want to see me doing night 6 and the extras menu and whatever else is next, then I'll make sure to show it. But yeah, we got our first star. Isn't that amazing? I'll probably only have the second star. I've never beaten a custom night, but we'll see. Anyway, if you have any games to recommend, type in the comment section and I'll make sure to play it. I might just be playing Five Nights at Wario's. Yeah, that greedy version of Mario. Anyway, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. And I'm trying to get two. I'm trying to get 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So make sure to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.